so now when the nodes join Venus, we have a very interesting situation, because Venus is said to be the teacher of the nodes. And Venus, Rahu, will actually excite our desires quite a lot, because Venus is the planet of our conscious desires. Our conscious desires are related to Venus. Conscious meaning, what we actively express. What makes the senses feel good, what we're attracted to, what turns us on, and things like that are indicated by Venus. Venus is the energy that makes the senses enjoyable, makes food taste good, makes sex feel good. All that fun stuff comes from Venus. But these are actual tangible things. Rahu is the subconscious, imagined things. How much more powerful is that? What's more powerful? The things that actually satisfy you, which is Venus, like I like chocolate, I like this kind of art, or the imagined chocolate, the great chocolate bar in the sky that is so gigantic you could never eat it all. Rahu is that nature of desire, that kind of insatiable desire that cannot be satisfied by something of this world. The sun is in my eyes now. So when you bring together the subconscious and the conscious forces of desire, this is what Rahu Venus is about. And of course it creates a lot of desire, but it's also a great lesson in that Venus is said to be the teacher of the Asuras, because if we don't express our desire nature with Rahu, there can be a lot of frustration, and the frustration of our desires can turn into a very diabolical thing in our mind. So when Rahu influences Venus, there'll be a lot of desires, but it'll really activate Rahu as well. We just need to make sure to purify them, and this is what Rahu Venus is about. It's about purifying desires. And so is Ketu Venus, but with Rahu Venus it's much more active, and there can be quite a lustful placement. There can be things like, fetishes and just obsessions over physical pleasure until we get more mature around it. Ketu Venus, Ketu is where we're sort of not really rejecting desires, but where we have a hard time experiencing pleasure and experiencing the joy of the physical world without a little bit of guilt, or without the idea that, this is just a base desire, I should be above this. It doesn't mean we don't enjoy desires. We will enjoy it, but we'll also realize the limitation of it. We'll realize how it's not our highest nature, and we can tend to have a painful relationship with our desires when we have Ketu Venus. It's actually a placement that can lead someone into exotic sensual practices like Tantra and these kinds of elevated sensual practices, because Ketu is trying to purify that thing, and it's already starting at a very high standard. So there'll often be disappointments in relationships and in things of the romantic nature and of the physical nature, because Ketu Venus is there. Ketu has a lot of experience with Venus areas of life, and that includes the disappointment of Venus areas of life. So Rahu Venus, there's kind of an insatiable sensual appetite at times, and a lot of imagining about desires, unrealistic desires, fantasy desires that can never be satisfied in the world. And it can really drain our energy a lot and create a lot of disappointment with with people, with partners, with those realistic things of the world that should be able to satisfy us. And again, once we have to work through that disappointment with Rahu Venus in order to get to something more pure. Ketu Venus, there's already a high level of understanding about the disappointing nature of the desires, but often the person is trying to learn how to experience their desires in a more reasonable way, without judging them and without feeling guilty or feeling like they're failing themselves just because they want to enjoy sex or food or chocolate or something. So Ketu Venus can bring a kind of painful rejecting of our desire nature.